The meat is leaking.
18th pick in the NFL draft.
Hey, make us lunch. We're hungry.
Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Dig back here. I don't want to say this. Yo, 32, 41. Back to bed. Get scrambled. It's coming. I gotta run.
Ground is shaking. The ground is shaking.
Oh my gosh, my pants are falling down. Oh my god, me. I'm tackled because of my knee brace. Who is that?
Ding
I'll tell you who that is. That is the idea that a lot of Eagle fans have of Carson Wentz next year. Can you believe it? They think this is Carson Wentz next year. No. You got it all wrong. Now, what do I mean by that? There's a doctor, for those that don't know, and he went on 94.1 WIP to talk to the morning crew about Carson Wentz's injury, how long it would take, his recovery. Now, this doctor, who isn't Carson Wentz's surgeon, isn't the Eagles doctor, but he's just a doctor that works at NovaCare, where the Eagles do the rehab, but he isn't involved in Carson Wentz at all. I think he was specializing in shoulder surgeries. But he made the comment that Carson Wentz's injury was much like RG3's, and that if it was him, he would tell his patient to wear a brace for the rest of his career. Now, all these people were flipping out, worried. They think he's damaged good. We should trade Carson instead of Nick Foles. Oh my gosh, Carson's done. It's all bullcrap. It's crap. Okay, first of all, let me explain this. If you wear a knee brace, this doesn't mean you're going to be you running. I'm at the 40, at the 42, at the 43. That isn't you, okay? Players play with knee braces all the time, and they play effective. When Carson Wentz comes back from injury next year, expect him to wear some sort of brace for a certain amount of time. Most players do. That's just the way it is. And a knee brace doesn't mean you can't run, doesn't mean you can't be mobile, doesn't mean you can't do anything. It just, more than anything, it's annoying to the player, it's restrictive to the player, but it doesn't affect the player. It doesn't affect him running what Carson can do on the field. It's not going to change it, but people are flipping out worried. Now, here's the other thing. RG3 and Carson Wentz are not the same quarterback. Because RG3 didn't come back from his injury, people assume that Carson won't. Not true. Listen, here, I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I'm going to tell you the truth and the real reason why RG3 never was the same. Okay, I'm going to tell you why he never was the same and why it doesn't affect Carson at all. The first thing is this. When RG3 came out, the Washington Redskins decided, instead of teaching RG3 how to be a pocket passer, how to play from the pocket, they went and they took his college offense and they incorporated a lot, and they let him go out and run the ball and run the read option and play that kind of game. He took a beating all year. Okay? Then, when he got hurt, he was already hurt. They let him go back in with a brace and play. He got hurt, right? So when RG3 comes back, there's a big problem for RG3 and the Redskins. They are throwing a guy who has been purely a running quarterback, and they are telling him, go be a pocket passer now, when he didn't work on that all year in his rookie year. Okay, if he would have, he may not have looked as dominating. He may not have put up some of the stats he did. He would have struggled, but he would have learned a lot. So what happened to RG3 is, he got hurt, and then he had to go and become a pocket passer. He never had a chance to learn how to be a pocket passer. And he came out and he struggled. And it was hard for him. And then he kept getting hurt because he kept going back to what he does best. And that was running. Now, RG3 took a beating. He took a beating. The Redskins organization failed him. And they gave up on him very quickly. Instead of teaching him how to be a pocket passer early, they let him be a running quarterback. He got hurt. Then they say, okay, become a pocket passer. Run this this offense this way now. And how was he supposed to do it? He hadn't learned it, and he was coming back from injury. It was too much. Carson Wentz is a pocket passer first. He went through the rookie year of struggling from the pocket. He is a pocket passer first. He doesn't run first. He's a passer first. Even if Carson isn't as fast as he was, let's say, which I don't think is a problem, but let's say that is the case. He's still effective from the pocket. He can tear it up from the pocket. This is why Carson Wentz will make a complete recovery like Tom Brady did, and it won't be a problem in the future. So this leads me into my next point, and that is Nick Foles Trade Wars Part 2, okay? Now, you understand from my point of view and my opinion that I believe Carson Wentz is the future. He's the future for the next 10 years. And at the end of this year, the Eagles can begin to give him a contract extension, which I believe they will. At the same time, Nick Foles will be a free agent. His contract will expire, and most likely he will walk away for nothing. Now, in my last video about Nick Foles and the trade wars, Let It Begin, Part 1, I specifically concentrated on Nick Foles' trade value, what I think he's worth. The Eagles said they are seeking at least 2 first-round picks, and I agree with them. This does not mean that I am looking to trade Nick Foles. If you ask me, Philly 500, should we seek a trade for Nick Foles? I would say no. I would say no. Keep Nick Foles. Just make sure that Carson Wentz is okay and that he's going to be fine, because, yes, there is a slight chance that Carson Wentz comes back, he gets hurt again, maybe the Eagles give up on him and think he's damaged goods, and they decide to sign Foles for the future and not Carson Wentz. This is possible, very, 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 very unlikely, and I don't think it'll happen, but it is possible, and if you want to play it safe, keep Nick Foles. So I'm not shopping Nick Foles. I will not shop Nick Foles at all, okay? That's my opinion. I don't believe the Eagles should pick up and call Cleveland and be like, yo, Cleveland Browns, you stink. You want Nick Foles? Yo, Arizona Cardinals, you always stink and get old quarterbacks. You want Nick Foles? I don't think the Eagles should do that. I think the Eagles should assume Nick Foles is the backup, and they should go into the season and go into the offseason as him as a backup. But the Eagles have to listen to trade offers. You have to listen to trade offers. And if you get one that is 2 first-round picks, if you get Cleveland's 4th pick overall, then you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to take the chance that Carson Wentz will recover, okay? That he is going to be okay, and you have to take that chance and do it. That's my opinion. You have to do it if it's a big enough offer. You just do. If you don't get a big enough offer, keep Foles for another year. Just make sure everything's okay with Carson. Just make sure that you don't rush him back and play it that way. That's fine with me. That's the safe way. That's how I would approach it. Now, for those that think that Foles is better than Carson Wentz, I got to disagree with you 100%. I see Nick Foles as a great player, a Pro Bowl level quarterback who is a clutch, cool as ice cucumber in big games. He can win Super Bowls if you put the right team around him and that kind of thing. That's how I see Nick Foles. One of my all-time great Eagles. He's in my top 10 list. Okay? I see him like that. Carson Wentz I see as a generational talent. In the next 10 years, he could literally be the best player in the NFL. He is Tom Brady, Peyton Manning type guy. He has to live up and fulfill that, but he has that kind of upside. You understand what I'm saying? He could very well be the next best quarterback in the league for the next 10 years. You can't get rid of that. You have to embrace that. That's 3-4 Super Bowls I'm talking about. That's an elite player. That's what I think Carson Wentz is, even with the injury. Because he's a pocket passer first, and he can adjust his game. He's shown that he can grow. Look at the growth from year 1 to year 2. You don't move that. You don't get rid of that. You can't get rid of that. Now, if you come into next year and Carson clearly isn't the same, he's hurt, he gets hurt again, another ACL, maybe 2 ACLs, and you're saying, man, this is damage good, let's just resign Foles, I understand it. And you know what? That's why you keep Foles for that year as a safety precaution. But if you're offered a lot, you have to take the chances. You have to take your chance that Wentz will be okay, and you have to move Foles for that kind of return. But you don't actively seek it. You know, that's basically how I see this. Now, Wentz, Doug Peterson, the Eagles medical staff, the coaching staff, the doctor that did his surgery, the doctors and people who've been around Carson Wentz, all say the same thing. He is going to make a full recovery. He will be fine. It's going to take time. He has 7 months. We're not going to rush him. We want him to be 100%. That's it. That's it. But if you get 2 firsts for Nick Foles or a 4th round pick from Cleveland, you get the 4th overall pick from Cleveland and the second and one of their 2nd round picks, you got to do it. And what? Sudfeld plays in 2 games in September. Hey, we can recover from that. We'll be okay. You can't forego getting that kind of return. You have to take the chance that Carson will be okay. So, in all, I love Nick Foles. There will definitely be a part 3 to the Nick Foles trade wars because things will heat up. But I do not actively seek a trade for Nick Foles. I will listen to offers. I'm okay with having him as a backup. But those that are worried about Carson Wentz, do not worry. He is going to be fine. Do not listen to all the rumors. You're going to hear a lot of rumors. You're going to hear a lot of things. It's all bullcrap. If it don't come from the team, the doctors that are with him, Carson, Doug, don't buy into it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. Trust me. Trust Philly 500. I'm not going to let you. I have not let you down. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.